It's that moment, it's that time, and that's us. Saying good evening to everybody and welcome to it, the Slicer TV podcast. And finally, ahead of schedule, we had told ourselves that we are going to take a little while before we get at least give it a month. But here we are to the rest of everybody that's watching us. It doesn't matter where you are at this point in time. It's the minute that we've been waiting for, the moment like we've been making noise about. And I was sharing with Uzizi, you will know later on who Uzizi is, that the last time I had EBGBs, the last time I had butterflies in my stomach was the first time that I was broadcasting for the first time on radio with an audience of 120 thousand people that we ended up with as a community radio station back in Gqeberha. So yeah, so I've got those butterflies that comes from the anxiety of doing something new, transcending time and technology and all kinds of things. And at the same time, it's us saying that like we want to be in there. We want to be part of change. So, welcome to it. It is the Slyso TV podcast. We're going to be coming to you live almost every Monday, sharing with you people some beautiful stuff, man. We're going to be sharing some beautiful stuff. There's a lot. We took time out, 5 years in the making, research, software, equipment, blah, 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 and all of those things. And we're doing it ourselves. And we also looked at the formats of podcasts that are out there, and we decided that we are actually just going to embrace the radio style, given my background. But without boring you with all of that history, one of the exciting things that I know that we're going to have on this podcast is that at least you can interact with us live. On the podcast while we broadcast whatever you have in terms of comments, given the stories that we'll be talking about or topics that we'll be sharing. I think one of the exciting things is that like you can comment like in real time, and obviously we will have your comments at the bottom of the screen, and obviously with your name. So welcome to it. It is the Slicer TV podcast, and right now I think it's time for me to just make it official. Yep, that's us right here on the Slicer TV podcast, and welcome to it. If you just tuned in, obviously, I will turn on your comments so that whoever decides to chat with us, we can siyabonga, baby, for an example. Kumnandi Slicer we're not on radio, Buddha. I'll put that one up for us to see, so that you can also have an idea of what we are going to be about. That's the first comment that we are getting from Musia Bonga. Thank you so much, my brother, for tuning in and making sure that you are us. So this is where we said we want to hear from you. We want your comments. We want how you feel about the podcast. What can we improve and all of that stuff. Starting off, just to give you a quick rundown, we're going to be going through what's trending in South Africa, probably over the past weekend up until now, and obviously what to look forward to given the week as well. There've been an array of interesting stories. Like South Africa is like a movie, bro. Like it's like we live in Hollywood. I'm sure they were correct when they were talking about gold. Just to give you a rundown, we're just going to be talking about what's trending on socials currently in South Africa. We're also going to be dabbling a little bit into, serious news, and obviously what's been happening over the weekend and what you can look forward to. I mean, like we've got court case. Like I would love to be a lawyer right now. Those guys are making the mullah. Yeah. Nah, those guys are making the moolah. But very interestingly, as I said, like the first thing that we're going to be taking a look at is what's trending in South Africa. And then when we move, I see Nobasutu Moses there. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us, big bro. I see you. Okay. So that's basically what we say, that we can interact with you like directly. I'm just going to keep like putting them on, yeah. Thank you so much. But I just want to say to people that are watching us on Facebook, the podcast is going to leave on our YouTube channel, which is the Slyso TV podcast. But for the sake of the first episode, where we want people to sort of like get a glimpse of what the podcast is about, we've also allowed people on Facebook. That is why we are going to have a couple of glitches, because all the other stuff that we did was on YouTube. But because we want to share, we believe in sharing. And if you look at what the podcast is about, it's informing, it's learning from each other, teaching, it's entertaining as well. Speaking of entertainment, there's a beautiful feature, one of our flagship features, which is the movie review podcast, with a long-time friend of mine, who unfortunately couldn't join us today because of work commitments. So we pre-recorded his segment, but it's definitely something to look forward to. It is called the movie review with Usisa Sino Nondumo. It's going to be coming up during the stream, and you'll be able to watch that. I can give you a clue. Nah, maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, so we're definitely going to be going through quite a lot. I see you all the way from London. I have to put that one up there. Awe ziyawa. I want busa kwazi uthetha isingesi na emisixhosa na. That's my start all the way from Europe. Okay, saying Slyso nam ndikhona. Talando Velem is here as well. So I see a lot of people that these are comments that are coming from Facebook. It's so such an honor to have you guys here. But going through what we're going to be talking about, like on a regular, we're just going to give you what's happening on social media platforms. We're going to get on some serious stuff. We're going to be inviting journalists, so that we can talk the nonsense that we usually talk as people in a taxi or at the office or at the golf course, like, about politics and news and what's happening. But we need people who are going to hold us accountable. And those are going to be the journalists that we are going to invite, to make sense of some of the stories that we're going to be sharing. You might be wondering, why is Slices aus Kumshela? We are international, baby. We've got people listening to us and watching us all the way from Europe, for an example. Ashad showed you on your screen right now. So we're also just trying to share with the rest of the world what's happening in South Africa. We are also going to be getting people from other countries as well to share their experiences, given whatever topic we talk about. And speaking of topics, we will have sports updates. I don't know, we're going to be talking about Chiefs. I don't know how Arsenal is doing or did over the weekend. I'll probably hear from Zizi. We've got a beautiful feature that's called the piggy bank. The piggy bank is basically taking a look at any and everything that has to do with your money. So we're going to be inviting institutions. We're going to be inviting private wealth managers. We're going to be inviting people that are in all kinds of investments. Okay, and they're going to be here, and you will be able to interact with them live on this stream. And the reason you will see me moving away or looking away from the camera is because I'm managing everything all by myself currently, and I have like a gazillion screens in front of me. That just trying to keep it together. Okay, City Abo, yeah. We're saying welcome. And I think one of the things, as I said, that we're going to be taking a look at, we also have the Tech Rider as far as our features are concerned. Now, the Tech Rider, we're going to be taking a look at the new phones. We're going to be taking a look at new iPads and blah, blah, blah. All those things that have to do with technology. And we're going to be assisting you, or a parent, okay? We're going to be assisting you because you need things like parental controls, when you pass your own over to your son or your daughter to use. Yeah, so the tech writer will be taking a look at us as end users as far as technology is concerned. And of course, music and entertainment, I've just shared it with you. It is a Monday. You are quite relaxed right now. You're probably having a glass of wine or whatever it is that you do. Okay. Kyabanda no banda. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a look at what's going on as far as trending topics are concerned. This is very interesting for me. Moses Dembe, that is Tatawe girlfriend. Well, both of them are late now. But there's a story that we actually have that. So he's at number one trending on X. If you ask me, Konga, I have no idea. The last time they were moving house and all kinds of stuff, but like it's also trending. It's number two on what's trending. And of course, Ace Mahashule, we've got a story that relates to him that we're going to share with you when we take a look at some serious news, so that you can just get a feel and an idea of what's going on, what's been going on in South Africa, and what we're probably going to be listening to or hearing this entire week. So we're sitting nicely at number three. I blew it. I need that lot of money so that I can be on I Blew It. Some people want to be on reality shows, My Perfect Wedding and My Perfect Holiday, Big Brother. And I want to be on I Blew It. But first, I need to win the lotto before I can do that. And of course, very interesting, Kendrick Lamar is trending in South Africa. Vandaag, as in today. For what good reason, I have no idea. But one thing that we know for sure is that hey, there's an Angola somewhere in the United States that's going on between the big three. That is Kendrick Lamar, that is Drake, and that is J. Cole, and a whole lot of people have been roped into it. Believe it or not, Rick Ross was talking about. I seriously thought the only person who ever did a nose job was Michael Jackson, but I've also learned that Drake has also done one. This comes from a diss track from. Very interesting. So maybe for those reasons, and of course, and so that's what's trending currently in South Africa as far as socials are concerned. So that's the one thing I can tell you about. And once again, as I said, who else do we have? Because I'm gonna keep swinging to my side and try to see who we have joining us on the stream. Yeah, there's Lindy. There's Linz. Thank you so much for joining us, my brother. Okay. So in between, like I'm looking for suggestions. I'm looking for whatever it is that you can that you can share with us. And of course, one of the things that you can actually do for us is closer to the end of the podcast. I will remind you we have a motivational moment. The motivational moment is when we where we invite psychologists, we invite dietitians, nutritionists, and all kinds of people that like actually can assist in making sure that we have a pleasant week. It is a Monday. Okay, so you looking for something to go off on. You probably had a good day or maybe a bad day at work, and you are sitting at home trying to decide how your week is going to be. So we're gonna have those people that are actually just gonna help us with such things. And moving right along, as I promised and as I said, that we are going to be taking a look at what's been happening in South Africa. Very interesting. In fact, let's start like overseas, since we were talking about his name is Orenthal was James Simpson. He was born on the 9th of July in 1947. He passed on the 10th of April. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. He was an American football player. Yeah, he played in the NFL, the National Football League, and he just passed on after 11 seasons. And very interesting. Yeah, apparently his entire professional success with being called the best running backs and all of that of all time. But all of that success was marred by the murder of his wife, Nicole Brown, and a friend, Ron Goldman, back in 1994 when we were getting freedom in South Africa. And that's none other than OJ Sin. That's how we know him. So we say rest in peace to him. Very interesting. Anything and everything that has to do with Telcom, Escom. Eskom. There was a CEO. He was there. He nearly got poisoned. I don't know. Somebody who just wants us to have like I don't know permanent load shedding in South Africa for some reason. I don't know. For some reason, they just want us to have permanent because they try to poison that CEO. Now the current person who's presiding over ESCOM was involved in an accident, and that is none other than the Minister of Electricity in South Africa. Apparently, this happened in yesterday. So Dr. Mokopa, apparently, he is safe after being involved in an accident. This happened yesterday, as I said, while traveling from northwest to Gauteng. Apparently, according to the department, the accident involved a car in which he was traveling with his two protectors and another vehicle. Like, how many of these are we going to have? Apparently, he's safe. It's safe. That's probably why we don't have load shedding currently. But we wish him a speedy recovery. But one person who was also involved in an accident just recently, but nothing was written and nothing was said about him. It was none other than the OG. You done taken that guy to jail 2 times. He came back and he said, like, I'ma be here. Okay. And if you believe that a cat has 9 lives, the person that I'm talking about probably has 10, because when he came out of that accident, almost like rappers that say, yo, I was shot 9 times and I came out, I'm still alive. That is none other than Jacob Gezeihlekisa Zuma. Came out of there, came out guns blazing. Well, not literally. In terms of the court cases, he won one, and his party was obviously smelling a rat as far as the accident is concerned, because a lot of it coming from everybody that's aligned with Umkhonto weSizwe was going about. Yeah, I think we think this was an attempt on JZ's life. But anyway, just recently celebrated his birthday as well. So happy belated birthday, my mans. So that's what's happening. And I think if you're a mom, we're approaching winter now. We are restocking our medicine cabinets, our first aid kits and stuff. This is something that you need to know, and that is a story that I picked up today on Times Live, where they say that Benylin cough syrup batches recalled after discovery of toxic compound. So which means that you need to pay attention to this story, because it has to do with probably the Benylin that you just bought, that you just put there to say in the safe. Apparently, the South African Health Products Regulatory Authority, SAPRA, has issued a countrywide recall of 2 batches of Benylin pediatric syrup. And this is after they were found to have high levels of toxic diethylene glycol. Lord, where are my doctor friends? How do you guys even are you able to do you these words? But anyway, they say that the authority was alerted to the issue by the Nigerian National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control. So they were like, we know about this stuff. Can be. But anyway, after engagements with the South African manufacturer, Kenview, which I didn't know, by the way, that Johnson and Johnson, who gave you COVID thingies and made loads of money, they now called Kenview. So those are probably things or stories we will hear from people that know all about business and all of that stuff. So apparently they got together and said, we need to have an immediate recall of these batches. Now, let me give them to you. They say that they recall batches, or the recall batches have been identified as the 329304. If you're a mom, you want to be writing this thing down so that you can look at the batch that you have, or the Benylin that you just bought, to make sure that it is not 329304, or the other one that they've recalled is the 329303. So you be on the lookout for that one. But one thing that I found interesting about this entire story, right? Remember, it was the authorities in Nigeria that said to the South African manufacturer, hey, look out for this thing. Now, they say that these 2 batches that I've just given you, they've been distributed in South Africa, Eswatini, Rwanda, Kenya, Tanzania, and Nigeria. So when I said, I was like, this kind of gives you an idea of how much money big pharma makes. This is just one product that's being distributed to all of these countries, and that recall. So if you have no idea, when they talk about big pharma, and this is just Benadryl, 2 batches of it distributed to all of these countries. How many people are going to get sick? How much money are they going to be making? Hmm. Interesting, yeah. That's the one thing that, like, that's a by the by that I picked up for it. But if you're a mom, please be on the lookout. Is these they identified as 329304 and 329303. So be on the lookout for those and make sure that you take them back as quickly as possible. If you just joined the stream, welcome to it. Now, who else am I finding over there? DJ Slyso, Sisongo Grootman, Hudosidi, Mfule Kapa. All right, my bro, I still get you. We're still kind of like on radio just a little bit, but like just taking a look at some serious news though. Still, remember I said that Ace Mahashule is trending. Apparently, Ace Mahashule and co-accused in the Astos trial. It has now been postponed to June. You'll remember, bro, like that kind of money, 255 million rand. See, I can't even. Yeah, that's how much money it is. But anyway, the case was supposed to be heard today, and then it was postponed, and it will be held on the 14th of June. At least it will give him time to campaign. Remember, he's the same guy who has Congress for Transformation Act. Remember when it was like, ANC, we'll see you, you know what I mean? We'll see you guys. I'm gonna go act now. So he started act, and a lot of people have been waiting on the political front, probably for him to lock heads and work with Jay-Z, with Onum Kondowesi's. We don't know what his strategy is. He's been quiet for quite some time, and that is Ace Mahashule, by the way. So that case has been postponed until the 14th of June. And still looking at some very interesting stuff. Remember I said, like, Moses Tembe is trending, and this all stems from a book that's out, by the way. So yeah, there's just a lot around that. Okay, book written by Melinda Ferguson. It's on the life of Anele and Kinnan, aka Forbes, and their toxic relationship. And apparently, what's been out there as far as the headlines are concerned, are that Moses Tembe shares his regret and anguish in a book on Anele and AKA's toxic relationship. They say that Moses Tembe regrets not intervening more in his daughter and AKA's relationship. They say that the Durban businessman, who on the eve of his daughter's funeral received a preliminary police report, leading to him believing that there was a 99% chance that Anela's death was not suicide. So it got a whole lot of things spinning, and currently we have probably another court case that's going to take forever to get to the end of. And yeah, so that's where it's all at right now. And apparently this lady, everybody's been asking, who is this person who wrote this book? Where did they get this permissions and all of this stuff? Apparently, according to reports on IOL, is that Melinda Ferguson, who is the author, actually set and sought permission to write the book, and she's had like extensive interviews with both sides, with both families, to corroborate the whole thing in order for her to be able to write a book that is endorsed by both parents. So it should be interesting. If you're a bookworm, please go get it and probably share with us and tell us what's going on as for all the juicy stuff. I know South Africa and juicy stuff. Do I really need that couch? This is another topic or headline that caught my eye today. It's about the story of the brothers that were murdered in Port Elizabeth after going to buy a television that they saw on Facebook Marketplace. Now, the question is being posed: is Facebook Marketplace a playground for criminals? I don't know what you say. The experts are saying yes, it is. Okay, a playground for criminals. We know about people who've been led, even people like Baxter, who's sitting in jail now. He lured the models to, fake gigs using Facebook. So it's a very beautiful space for us to be on, but it's also a very dangerous one. So you need to be on the lookout. I've used Marketplace. I've bought a couple of stuff from it. But one thing I've always made sure that I do not do, I do not go to the person's house. We are going to meet at a public place. We are going to, these are things that you should be saying now, as well. If you are not sure about the area or like, about the sale, let's meet at the police station. Let's meet at the, because you're dictating and this person wants to sell to you. So make sure, just to make sure that you are covered on your end if you must buy something from Facebook. Okay. Criminal experts have weighed in on the conversation, and with the general consensus being that the Facebook marketplace is no longer safe. Okay. So you have to look twice before you can do anything as far as that is concerned. Well, speaking of Tabo Besta, what do you know? Okay, they say that, like, I think it was on the 13th of April. It was the 1 year anniversary of them being locked up together with Dr. Nandi Pamakudumana. That is when they were brought back to South Africa after a daring movie style escape from custody and from the country as well. Man, it was like watching a movie. Whoever that makes a movie out of that one, they better make sure that they get their story right. This was on April 13, 2023, when South African officials confirmed that Thabo Bester and Dr. Nandi Makudumana had been brought back to the country to face charges brought against them after they fled the country. Now, that dude, man, I've never come across anybody who had everybody wrapped up. Like, he paid prison officials, he paid people to get a body, he paid people to buy a cabinet, all of these things, like, while sitting in jail. That's some movie stuff, if you ask me. But anyway, initially, if you don't know, just the background is that initially he was arrested, charged, and he was also sentenced for offering young aspiring models fake modeling gigs using Facebook. And Bester pleaded guilty to 2 rape charges and 1 of murder of Nomfundo Kyulu. May Nomfundo's soul rest in peace. So that's why he was in jail to start with, and where that whole thing of the escape started from. So those are just some of the serious news that we're probably going to be hearing about a lot on socials. It doesn't matter wherever it is. But to those people who've just joined us, and I see some more comments, but thank you so much for joining us on the Slyso TV podcast. Let me just do this, because we are going to be switching and going to the flagship feature that I was telling you about, which is with a partner in the Slyso TV podcast, and that is none other than Usisa Nondumo, aka Sino, aka Rara, aka Malti, aka all of these things. Okay, and yeah, it's a long story, but like, we're gonna have time. We're gonna have him live, and we talk about where we know each other from. But like, he's always been like my consistent crate digger when it comes to music, that kind of person who's going to say, Steels, if you listen to this and all of that. So all of that love, and for and him being so fond of movies, and actually doing these like reviews on socials. I'm like, dude, come through, let's just do this. So that's one of our flagship features on the show, which we are definitely going to be getting into in a little bit. But for now, I just want to get very quickly. Yep, that's us. Yeah, it's time for us to get it popping. We're getting closer to the moment of truth. We're getting closer to making sure that we have that movie review feature right here on the Slyso TV podcast. To those people that just joined us, welcome to it. There's a lot. And obviously, it's a Monday. You're probably not watching and all of that. So you want to know what you're going to be wearing. So we have the weather for tomorrow prepared for you, which we will afford you closer to the end of just to tell you how your weather is going to be looking tomorrow. But once again, I can't thank you enough. And I did say that currently I'm just out here doing everything by myself because we just said like we need to get to a point where we start. So now it's time for us to go see what's happening in this particular feature right here on the Slyso TV podcast. So if you just joined us, welcome to it. To the people on Facebook, we are just premiering the broadcast today for everybody, but from next week on, the weeks coming, we will have it strictly on our YouTube channel, which is the Slyso TV podcast.
Hello, 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 hello. So this week we got the Gentleman series on Netflix by Guy Ritchie. So this is a remake, or I guess a rendition for other words in terms of the 2019 movie, the same name, The Gentleman, with Matthew McConaughey, Hugh Grant, and Colin Farrell. Great movie, by the way. So Guy Ritchie decided to follow the series format with the same title, The Gentleman. And man, I don't know, maybe my excitement is not showing enough how great this series is. It's 8-part, came out on the 7th of March, 2024. It's amazing. So just a bit of background on the story. Theo James is the lead actor, that's his name. He plays Eddie Horniman, who is the Duke of Halstead. And the series starts off with him, his father passing, and being a duke, they live in these huge castles and huge land there in England. And so what happens is that the story starts with him with his father dying and leaving a will. So he has an older brother called Freddie, useless, upsetting human being, that Freddie, by the way. Anyway, so the father leaves a will and makes Eddie the rightful heir to the throne, to become the duke. That's where the problems start, right there. So obviously Freddie is completely upset about the whole thing, being the older brother, blah blah blah. So the storyline is based on basically, on the land there's a family called the Glass. So there's a girl called Susie Glass, who is the daughter of a kingpin played by Ray Winstein, and they distribute and manufacture weed. So what they do, they build like a complete underground, huge acres of land to grow and distribute marijuana across Europe. And I guess the business format for the Glass family is all these dukes who have all these lands, they're not bothered by the police, and they pretty much have like a huge empire. So the storyline is based on, obviously now, the Duke, the new one, Eddie, realizes that his dad is not having money and so forth, and then soon gets approached by the Glass family saying, hey, listen, your dad is in this business and you should continue with it as well. Obviously, he's not so really into that. And so he tries to like do an exit plan to say he wants to get out or blah, blah, blah. And then during the same time, there is Giancarlo Esposito. Oh my goodness, what a great actor. Oh man, he's been in Spike Lee movies for as long as you can remember. You remember him from Breaking Bad. He's just an amazing thespian. So he plays a gentleman by the name of Stanley Johnston with a T, which he tells you all the time about that. And he's trying to lobby Eddie to buy this business, and that's where it gets tricky. So there's deceit, there's lies, and what is discovered along the way is that Eddie actually loves this role of being this business guy in this kingpin world, and so him and Susie Glass, the daughter of Ray, who's in prison, but I don't know what kind of prison that is, because like he's got a chef, he's wearing his own clothes. That prison is just crazy. It's like all these rich people in England, and they go to prison, they go to like almost like a retirement home. Basically, they can't leave, but it's a prison, but they can't leave. So they have a chef. He even tells the guard there, excuse me, I need to have a meeting with these people, so please mind your way. That's how crazy it is. And so that's pretty much the story. And but obviously, being a Guy Ritchie series, if you know Guy Ritchie, you know the dialogue is gonna mess with you. He's chirpy. He's got these one-liners, and obviously the mannerisms of the English, how they speak and so forth, how they just throw like they will offend you in the best English possible, that you won't even pick up you being offended, but he's kind of saying fuck you, but like fuck you in a polite English way. And I guess if you don't know English, it'll go right over your head. My favorite character of the series, Jimmy Chang. Hey, Jimmy Chang, oh my goodness. You know why I love Jimmy Chang is that because he's pure. He has the best hands, hence the Glass family trust him to grow their weed. But yet Jimmy is a stoner. That's him. He's gonna mess up. And I think if the world had more Jimmys, there'd be less war in this world, because he's so calm. He means well, and you know what? He's just a lover. But anyway, that being said, we are all highly anticipating for there to be a season 2. It did so well. I think I would implore what Guy Ritchie did to other great directors to maybe take some of the long movies and like make it into a series format where you don't skip any time, you're not pressed to do something in 90 minutes or 120 minutes, and put it into a series format. It's amazing. Like I said, the movie was great. You wouldn't have thought that they'd make a series of it, and it was amazing. It's so amazing and highly rated. I think it's possibly, I mean, we're only in the fourth month of the year, but I would say it is the best series of the year. And Guy Ritchie, well done to you. It is amazing. It's a 10 out of 10. The acting, the dialogue, everything is amazing. Do watch it. I highly recommend it. Next time from Sino, my name is Sisa Nondumo, and you can call me Sino. And as you can see, we're still on top, baby. Arsenal still on top. Thank you very much. Thank you. Next week.
How did I know? How did I know? It's all gonna be around like what Arsenal will be up to. But anyway, man, that's our flagship feature right here on the Slyso TV podcast. And by the way, you're probably wondering, what is he talking about? We're gonna be in and out of conversations, around what we have, because as I said, it's an interactive podcast, so it's live, so you can comment in real time. And if you don't believe me, before I go to the trailer, one of the stories that we just missed, I will come back to it just now, because I said that like your input is most welcome on the podcast. So we thank you so much to those people who actually are live with us and actually just showing us or sharing with us what is happening, or for what we probably going to be looking be on the lookout for as a country. But what he Sisa was talking about, or this beautiful Guy Ritchie, I don't believe, man, like Guy Ritchie, he's like, I don't think his movies like those, like they just premiere like on Hollywood. That's like those things you take to for like film festivals, because like there's just so much creativity that goes into whatever he touches. I just looked at some of his his movies, man. Snatch. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. That was back in 1998. And as he rightly puts it, is that like everybody is going the series route and is thinking, I've got all of this creativity still in me. Why not put it into a series? So pick up on that one. And if you haven't seen what we are talking about, it is on Netflix. You can actually go check it out or check the trailer here.
I didn't ask for any of this. The title has no practical value. The business is broken. There are holes in the roof. The staff are revolting, and you, brother, are a coke-sniffing cunt.
Allow me to introduce myself. I used to be in business with your father. I have certain interests that I need to discuss with you.
Now, what happens down there?
Must have come as a bit of a shock. Inheriting a house, title.
As the new landlord, you will receive a significant amount of money. In return, letting us carry out our activities.
You's like a duke, innit?
What the?
People either survive in the jungle or exist in the zoo.
What do you think, John?
I think you should fuck off back to your country house and wank off your spaniel.
I'm going to remove their interest from this estate.
I didn't create this problem. I'm trying to help you deal with it.
No one walks away, and it's down to you to keep him under manners. These are serious people. Although they appear to be house-trained, don't be deceived by the facade.
So in order to stop ourselves being associated with criminals, we are going to become criminals.
We're not criminals, Freddie.
Welcome to the jungle.
Lapsang Su Chonk.
Freddie is my man, the brother. Yeah. I think it was like Sino puts it correctly. It's like one useless human being, always getting his brother into trouble. It's things that happen, like people over the wheel, the parents, you, the elders, and then it doesn't go to you. It goes to the most sensible one who's been working, trying to make sure that the family is taken care of. So that's what we're going to have every time we say it's time for the Slyso TV podcast. And going back to that story that I was sharing with you a little bit later on, where people actually just assist us with what is going on. I got this one from Mandisi, and goes to Mr. Sindo, or the DJ Slyso. Please don't forget about the students who passed on at that car crash. That was on the Johannesburg M1. Man, that car was speeding, and I think that was one of the saddest things that were picked up over the weekend. But we continue right here on the Slyso TV podcast, and of course, Mr. A, thank you so much. I see you there. This is dope. Thank you so much. We are still have a feature coming up, and remember, in closing, we need a motivational note for the rest of the week for all our viewers. So I'm relying on you as the viewer to probably drop on the comments, whatever motivation you have for us. Okay, just don't be serious and all biblical and stuff. We just need something to make sure that we can go on the whole week, without any glitches in our lives. And of course, I did mention that, for a lot of people that are watching, you're probably going to be going to bed after this. So one of the things I will make sure that I do is just give you the weather for the entire country, so because there have been flood alerts in a whole lot of places, and I know that Margate, a very beautiful small town on the coast, just south of Durban, has been hit recently by floods. So you want to get that weather report that I'm going to afford you, so that you know exactly how to dress up if you're a swag person, or at least if you are in a place that might just have floods and all kinds of stuff. We still have one more review for you, and we're going to be delving into music. Now, this is very interesting because this segment is pre-recorded. So it's a bit unfair that it is not included, this whole big three beef thing going on between J. Cole, that is going on between J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake. And now people like Mick Mill apparently have some stuff bubbling under. They also want to join in the whole thing. Who else? I know that Rick Ross has already responded to Drake talking about his big nose, but like it was quite offensive. Like kept on bringing up Drake's mom and this whole thing, and a lot of people have been speculating that when J. Cole decided that, like, after that diss track with his surprise album, he went and apologized in front of crowds, and so a lot of people always say that's not the way hip hop is supposed to be. Do you think that, like, Ice Cube went to NWA and apologized? Do you think Nas will go to Jay-Z and apologize for Ether and all of that stuff? But what drives him, and I think Kendrick Lamar had an interview with Big Boy, and he actually outlined, because Big Boy asked him directly, like, dude, what's going on? Because you and J. Cole are close. What's going on? And it was like, big man, hip hop is a sport. I think I just had to, just shake it up a little bit. And a whole lot of people missed that interview and just went on about J. Cole apologizing. And the real question you really need to ask is, like, does hip hop need beef? So it's very interesting. But anyway, as I promised you, or you're wondering why we're talking about hip hop and all of these artists, we go back to my crate digger, as I said in the banner. Yeah. This is one of those people. It's like, have you heard this? We'll be like listening to a Stevie Wonder album, and it's like, still, can you hear that piano in the background? And I'm like, very articulate and yeah. And it's only my pleasure to just delve into this one and just get Uzizi to tell us what he thinks about this particular album by J. Cole. And after that, we definitely will be wrapping things up, because we said we just want to be out here for an hour just to test things out, just to give you a taste of what it's going to be like as we grow this podcast. Because one thing they always say in business, whether it's business actually, whether it's you following your career, whether it's you going back to school, the more, accomplishing a task, the most important part of it is for you to start. So that's what we decided. We've been sitting on this idea for quite some time, and we just felt the time is now. I will share also some of the interviewees that we will have, because we want to delve in all kinds of corners. This time around, let's go check out our music review right here on the Slyso TV podcast.
Hello. Can't be greeting you the whole entire time. I mean, like, really, this is childish. My apology. Yes, we're back again, but now we're going to be talking about music. My review for the week, I decided to dig in the crate and head out to a 2016 album by one of my favorite, one of my ultimate, I would say, would you call him a young rapper? I don't think you call him a young rapper anymore. Nah, he's no longer young. This guy's been like 5-6 albums in the game. Anyway, the name of the rapper, J. Cole, and the album is his 2016 10-track album called For Your Eyes Only. Why I chose this album, just the other day, I was just like, I don't know what I was doing, and randomly a J. Cole song played, and I just got so happy and overjoyed, and I just remembered how happy J. Cole makes me. Like, this is like a young man who is just incredibly gifted. He produces his own music. He's too deadly on the pen. He's a dope rapper, MC, charisma, and just creative in his whole approach to music. So why this album, the classic 2016? It's his fourth album, signed under Rock Nation, which is it's a co-production deal with also his own record company, Dreamville, and 10 tracks. I mean, 10 songs, 45 minutes, their whole entire album, and it's bold, it's brave, it's the music. It's not just your regular boom bap rap. It's got harmonies, it's got strings, it's got jazz covers. The sampling is, and the theme, I believe, was based on love, loss, fatherhood, and being black in America at the time. And once again, no feature, typical Cole, and it went platinum. It's so rare artists going platinum when they have 0 features on the album. He produced all the album. Did have some production assistance by, I think, Boy Wonder on I think the first single called Deja Vu. And Deja Vu is such a dope track, but the chorus has this. Maybe you guys can tell me. It sounds like Pac, but it's not Pac because I don't see no Tupac feature on there. But like the way he does the chorus, the vocals, I guess technology could have edited and made it sound like Tupac, but it's awesome. That was the first single. The other single was Neighbors. But my personal favorite on the track is the actual title track of the album, called For Your Eyes Only. And it's like 8 minutes and 45 songs. It's like a love letter for a father to his daughter, who's writing it in anticipation that by the time she's old enough to read and understand what he's writing, he may no longer live. Just the typical black America, growing up where a father's a hustler, a drug dealer, whatever it means to live and live his life, and the choices they make, circumstances that leads to this father writing these words of wisdom to his daughter, trying to explain how things happen, and also not giving excuses really, but like kind of saying, I really wish that I'm perhaps alive when you're reading this, so that I can maybe try and right the wrongs that I did with my own life and be a better father for you, and see things in a better light. It's a beautiful song. It's got this like a jazzy strings, and it's beautiful. Anyway, that's my album for the week, and I chose a classic, one of my favorites. You're probably gonna hear a lot more J. Cole reviews here because he's like literally a favorite. And that's for Your Eyes Only 2016 album, J. Cole. And my name is Slyso Nduma, but you can call me Sino. Everybody calls me Sino. Sino loves you. Thank you very much, and stay tuned in. Please do comment, do give me your views about how I review, what more you'd like or what less or more, whatever it is. I'm still gonna be me, don't get me wrong, but I want to get your opinion, your views, and let's build together. We're trying this out, and you know what? We all love music. We all love entertainment. It makes us feel good. It makes us become better people, and we take notes and lessons from the ones before us and after us. Thank you very much. See you next week.
Yeah, there you have it. As I said, it was the segment was pre-recorded, so obviously we couldn't delve into the current beef that's going on because it came immediately after that. But it's going to be very interesting when we have Usino in the studio, and we can do this live, and we can have that interaction, and obviously you as a fan as well of the particular album that we will be reviewing on that particular day, you will be there to probably, just share with us and tell us what's going on. I've got another beautiful message that's going out to the friends of the Slyso TV podcast already. Ziba, thank you so much. We see you. There are a whole lot of other people that have come through, guys, wishing us well. It is our first episode. As I said, we're doing everything by ourselves, just making sure that we just get down to it. Just start. whatever it is, like bangabe bekuthiwa ndiyashumayela, like, you know, I'm a preacher right now. Ilizwi for the day, the scripture for the day would be just get started. It doesn't matter what it is that you know you want to achieve in life. You know, you obviously are going to fail like everybody else. Like some of the richest people or wealthiest people, they will tell you how many times that they failed more than the times that they have succeeded in their ventures. So that's what it's all about. It doesn't matter what it is that you want to approach. And one of the beautiful mediums that are always there for us to use are communication, you know. And we choose to use this medium where we actually have you on screen. We can talk to each other and have these beautiful conversations. And in the future, as I'd said, each segment of the show is going to be done by either a guest or a designated person to do it. And, you know, an example I made was when we are talking about serious news. We are just facilitators. Sino and I just want to sit here and laugh and talk about what's going on, what's going to happen the 29th of May, who's going to be in the ballot, who's not to be there. But we need people who are trained, who are going to bring some level of accountability on it. We've also been in chats with people that are going to give us the results from the sports over the weekend. So all of those comments, you are welcome. If you know people, know that today when we were posting saying that we are going live, there's a friend of ours, Scorpion, all the way from Kabeja. Apparently they also had a vinyl thing going on this past weekend at FAWA. So big up to the guys. So he recommended somebody around a particular feature, and I was like, we already have this Negro in our pocket. Okay, we're going to be dealing with that. But thank you so much. And as I said, we're getting closer to ending it off. As we end it off, I'm just going to scan through my messages and try to find out or see if we have anybody that has, it could be a quote, you know, just to motivate us, you know, just to end off the podcast with that. So, you know, so that we can receive some form of motivation for us to get to the end of the week. But I did promise to give you the weather for the rest of South Africa. Remember that there are flood warnings everywhere. I guess that climate change is finally catching up with us. A lot of people gonna be hearing it just for their swag, just to know you know, how to put their swag on tomorrow. And for some people it's a life and death situation, as we've seen in places like Cape Town. And apparently one of the insurance companies was like, they received, I think, over 165 insurance claims. And these are not claims for little things. Oh, my microwave broke. And these are massive. If you think about it, I mean, like the damage to property and all kinds of stuff. So that is why we decided we're just going to use what is already out there, which is weathersa.co.za, where you can go check out your own weather. But like, because we're such nice people on the Slyso TV podcast, we're just going to breeze through the rest of the country, starting off with Pretoria, which will be sitting between 13 and 24 degrees. That's the maximum. It's going to be cloudy with isolated showers and thunder showers. So it's bound to rain, baby. Looking at Johannesburg, it's sitting between 11 and 20 degrees tomorrow. It's cloudy with scattered showers and thunder showers. So be on the lookout. Vereeniging is going to be cloudy with scattered showers and thunder showers. It's sitting between 9 and 21 degrees tomorrow. Mbombela, sitting between a minimum of 16 and a maximum of 22 degrees tomorrow. It's cloudy. It's also got there's some isolated showers. So make sure in the Banupati my sister Klaupumangoms. Okay, Polokwane is between 10 and 23 degrees. Mahikeng 13 to 22 degrees, partly cloudy. It also has showers and thunder showers. Vryburg is between 12 and 24 degrees. Bloemfontein is sitting between 10 and 22 degrees. So be on the lookout. It's also partly cloudy and showers. In fact, it looks like it's going to be raining in a whole lot of parts of South Africa tomorrow. Kimberley, the city of diamonds, is sitting between 12 and 24 degrees, partly cloudy with scattered showers and thunder showers. Uppington, like, I was like, there's no way it's going to rain in this place. It never rains. I wonder if it ever does. I've never been to it or heard about like floods ever happening in such places. It's between 15 and 30 degrees. Like, so we going into winter, these people are like, we could do with the Durban beach right now. That's Uppington for you. It's just partly cloudy. Cape Town, where you guys experienced like those massive floods. I hope that people are safe, and let's take better precaution, guys. When we're building, when we're extending, and making sure that if we have things of high value, let's ensure them, so that when disasters strike, we are able to look into these things. Apparently, it's going to have morning fog patches. Otherwise, it's going to be fine. So there's no rain in Cape Town. You can rest at 17 to 24. George, morning fog patches as well, between 13 and 22 degrees. It was beautiful to hang out with you, George. I look forward to having you guys again. Gqeberha is between 18 and 25 degrees, my hometown. And by the way, between the 26th and the 28th of April, I have the Slyso homecoming, series of gigs that I'm doing back at home that weekend to celebrate 30 years of democracy in South Africa. So I'm going to be playing some very beautiful spots. And this is Abesamakasana, most of it, just to touch base. I know that like it was corner. I know that Motherwell is there. If you want to book, it's bookings at slyso.co.za. Excuse me. Bookings at slyso.co.za, or you can go to 0766 330742. East London is going to be sitting between 19 and 24 degrees. Partly cloudy with isolated afternoon showers, and Durban is between 20 and 25. Richards Bay, minimum of 20 and a maximum of 27 degrees. Pietermaritzburg is between 15 and 22 degrees. Me choking is a sign that I should be signing out and seeing you guys again. But let's just find out. I think there's somebody here with something very interesting. Oh man, just check this out from one of our homegirls. So I think that's our quote for the day, that like we actually you could be receiving this message from somebody who's been seeing and watching you trying to achieve something. All you need to do is start. I guess that's our word for the day. And with that, I just want to say thank you very much to everybody. We are looking forward to inviting politicians. There are some that we've confirmed. Yes, of course, including the big four in the country. Some of those politicians are going to be here, but we don't necessarily want to talk politics with them. We just want to speak life, and all kinds of stuff. And we also have clinical psychologists that are going to be joining us and making sure that if we think about it, there's a lot that we are going through as a country. Coming from COVID, there are a lot of people that did not recover from losing people, from losing jobs and all of these kinds of things. So our thinking and and our plans just got disrupted by something that we couldn't control. So part of what the podcast is going to be trying to do is to bring those people closer, to assist us, just so that we can be level-headed in approaching whatever it is. From me, myself, and I, Slyso, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Just for the people on Facebook, once again, this is the only episode that's going to be available on Facebook. Our next episode will be strictly on YouTube. So go there, subscribe the Slyso TV podcast, so that by then, as we improve, you are part of that. Thank you so much to everybody. Who do I see here? Lupiza, I see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Who else do I see? Talando Vilema Sozongambon. So definitely he will be there. Guys, this is the end of the stream. We're not going to have anything fancy to say, or prayer or anything like that. We're just going to end it off and say thank you very much for being a part of it. And your comments are still welcome. We're gonna save it and put it there so that you can give us whatever suggestions you have. And even in terms of guests as well, if you have people who are trailblazers, just make sure that you get in touch with us so we can speak to them. And if you can see over there, there's a Zakesman book that's sitting there. That's where, if you're an author, we need to have your book and put it out there, and have discussions around it, and all kinds of things. So from me, myself, and I, it's been a pleasure. Love you. Mwah.